Hey Browns fans, time now to go in the film room. It's another edition of X's and Joe's presented by Microsoft Surface. Nathan Segura alongside Browns legend and three-time Pro Bowl cornerback Joe Haden. And Joe, I'm going to ask you a question, unfortunately, that I asked Joe Thomas last week. You've been in situations, unfortunately, similar to what's going on right now with the Cleveland Browns. How do you get in this locker room? How do you get this turned around? This team, too talented, obviously, to be sitting at 1-6, but here they are, and now the Ravens are coming to town.
The way you get the thing turned around, man, is you got to lead on the leaders. You got to lead on dudes like Miles. You got to lead on dudes like Nick Chubb, and just see the way that they're coming in, going about their business. You got to go in there. You have to perform. And if the tape isn't right, the tape isn't right. You got to be able to take accountability for the bad plays, for the good plays, and be able to look yourself in the mirror and know if it's not good enough, you're not getting the job done. We're professionals. We have a job to do. You got really good vets that, have been in situations, have been in locker rooms where you're not winning games, but you have a job to do that you need to go out there and perform. And if you're not performing, you need to be able to take accountability for that.
So there were some bright spots in this game against the Cincinnati Bengals, most notably on the defensive side of the football. But on offense, and that's where we're going to start here, Joe, you get the return of Nick Chubb. And boy, was that an emotional moment when he was announced and ran out of the tunnel. It was a thunderous ovation, the likes of which I don't know if I've ever heard before at Huntington Bank Field. What does it mean to get a guy like that back, especially for a team, that is struggling?
He's one of the heartbeats of the team. He's one of the people that they can literally look to and lean on and know that he's one of the dudes that's putting his all into it, his training, his everything that he puts into the game. So he's somebody that they can lean on and look for motivation, because that Nick Chubb, he's going to be giving it everything that he has every single snap. So he's a leader on the team. He's somebody that everybody can look to, and that's the dude that you need to follow.
Well, we're going to follow him right into the end zone. We get into our first play here. It was 4th down and 1. Dorian Thompson-Robinson in at quarterback. And there's something interesting I just want to point out in this formation. So the Browns have a standard formation, tight end on the left side here, David Njoku. And then on the right side, flexed out, you've got Zach Zinner and then linebacker Winston Reed. And so I think the Bengals think, okay, this ball's going out to the right. They've got an extra offensive lineman out there and a linebacker to be the lead blocker. You're in the I formation, but the Browns actually run a toss to the left. And as we kind of see this one unfold here, you get a great job sealing here from David Njoku, Joel Bitonio, and Jed Wills. You're going to get the lead blocker out here to take on this man, and then it's going to be on Nick Chubb to make just one guy miss. Great block there. Look at the alley, and the question is, does Nick Chubb have the speed to beat this defensive lineman into the end zone? And the answer, Joe Haden, is yes, with a nice little spin move right there, and he is in. Let's take a look at it from the back, and then you tell me here what you see as this play unfolds.
Like you said, man, it was just a great job by Jedrick and Njoku being able to do that combo block, being able to get that defensive end up to the linebacker. And then when they did that, Jeff Swan is able to come around and get that kick out on the last remaining player. So the block from Njoku and Jedrick was just so good. It's a 2-to-1. Boom. He was able to lead up, help double team. So then he was able to get up to the next level. Then we have a kick out block there. And Joel was able to stretch his defender all the way from that B gap, all the way, stretching it all the way through, and being able to make Chubb being able to make one cut and get into the end zone. This is just great blocking by everybody on the left side of the line.
One of the things I love about this play, and you mentioned, right, you're trying to create alleys in the run game. How about that? When you can read the numbers as a running back of 3 of your guys on one side, 1 on the other, that's an alley. But what's amazing about this is the Browns basically create a situation where you've got 3 guys right here on 2, 1-on-1. Look at everybody over here is completely out of this play. And you've basically created, in an 11-on-11 situation, a easy touchdown for Nick Chubb. And you can see the crowd going wild. You love to see that as we look at it from this end on the end zone. Again, it's just all about creating the alleys. And you talked about this great job here. You're going to get the block here, and then Nick Chubb right into the end zone. Welcome back.
Jedrick and Joe Bitonio, that 2-to-1, that double block, and then being able to get up to the linebacker is just perfect. So he can't get over and make that play with Chubb. They were doing 2, and then he came off to that linebacker. That's perfect blocking.
All right, let's take a look at this defense. And I thought, Joe, defense was phenomenal in this game. You think about it, at the end of the day, defense only allowed 14 points to a red-hot Cincinnati Bengals team. They held them to 2 of 13 on third down. In fact, they didn't allow a point or a third down conversion until the third quarter, and part of it is because Denzel Ward is playing so well. This is the matchup we're going to watch on this one right here. Denzel Ward and T. Higgins at the top of your screen. Browns showing double A-gap pressure, right? They're mugging right now. They're showing a blitz initially to Joe Burrow. Now, Joe Burrow looks at this and he says, okay, I've got, is it man? Is it man? I got man here. I've got head up, head up, head up, and now I got the single high safety that's dropped out right before. So that's what you're looking at here with the Browns. Man coverage, 2 underneath droppers, and then obviously back here trying to get pressure. But this is going to be one-on-one. Talk to me about this off-coverage technique here where sometimes in man, right, you play that press man. Right here, you're given a cushion on 3rd and 10. It's still even 5 yards down the field. So what's Denzel? What's the technique? What are you trying to do here?
Denzel Ward is trying to stay square in his back pedal as long as he can until he breaks his cushion. The one thing I love about Denzel is he stayed in his back pedal. Normally people open up and start panicking. He's playing man-to-man. If he didn't close your cushion, there's no reason to open up. So he stayed square in his back pedal that entire time. You don't see DBs that do that. Dudes start panicking, people start running up on their toes, but Denzel feels confident enough to stay square in his back pedal and just stay even. Like if you're going to break left, you're going to break to it. I can go to an out route, I can break to a dig, I can do anything. So now he's running up on his toes. So now he's square on him. He stays square on his break, and he stemmed him inside and then was able to break out. Denzel not panicking is on top and is able to still close to the receiver. He's getting into his body, and when he throws his hands up, he doesn't panic. He plays through the receiver's hands, tries to rake the ball out, and basically intercepts it. So this is just beautiful technique as a DB where you don't panic. You're confident in your technique. You stay square. He's climbing your toes. You don't panic and look back at the quarterback because you're not in phase. So you play through his hands. He throws up his hands and he plays right through him. Like this is perfect. One hand directly through his hands, and then you bring the other hand and try to intercept the ball and rough it out because now you're fighting for it. Because you see, receivers are throwing their hands up directly to catch it. If you put your hands directly in there, that's where the ball's at.
Let's get one last play on the defense. The Browns sacked Joe Burrow 3 times in the first half. Now, sometimes sacks are because you get that quick pressure, you dominate your man. Sometimes sacks come because your secondary has done a great job. Pre-snap, we're showing 2 high safeties here with, it looks head up man on the outside. Likely, what do you think? We're going to get a little cover 2 here. You got the 3 linebackers lined up here. They're playing coverage. You're playing the sticks right here in this situation, 3rd and long.
Yeah, 3rd and long zone coverage.
And that's exactly what it is. Cover 2. 2 deep safeties, 2 underneath, but how they open up so they can get underneath any kind of outward breaking route there with Denzel. Nice pocket early, but as you see it, where are you going? You essentially have a double here. You have a double here. You've got these 2 looking right here on this one in case he runs the seam. You've got your Mike linebacker running that seam. That's classic Tampa 2 right there. Nowhere to go with the ball. He could check it down here to Mike Gesicki, but he's got to get right here for the first down, and the Browns have 1, 2, 3, 4 to come in and vice and make that tackle. So Burrow's going to try to hold on and see if he can get time, but when he does that, you're going to get Za'Darius Smith breaking through, and it is a sack for the Cleveland Browns.
Yep. Really good Tampa 2, vision to break. Everybody has eyes on Joe Burrow. You see in the secondary, they're looking. So if he does, the only route he does have is that check down, and if he does, he's going to have 3 dudes coming right at him, full speed, ready to chop him down. So Joe Burrow's trying to make something else happen, but Za'Darius Smith, first time a little double team, and it just keeps the effort. The effort of just continuing to get after the quarterback, not stopping, with that coverage, giving them that extra beat to be able to get this second move in, to be able to swim them right past to get to the quarterback. It's just pass rush and secondary coverage work together, and this is a prime example.
It is. And by the way, let's zoom in on Za'Darius here. How about this? So he gets the double team. So the right guard's thinking, okay, he's got to come back inside on me. He feels that double team. I've got that help there, but the double team disengages. And then Za'Darius gives him, it's kind of like a little Euro step here, a little hezzy step to the inside, and then comes right back, gets his weight, the weight of Alex Kappa going this way, and then he's able to come back with the swim move here and get to Joe Burrow. That's a veteran move. That's veteran savvy, and he's able to get him on the ground. And it's a meeting at the quarterback. You talked about it's coverage everybody working together. We'll talk about it again here. Two high safeties. You're going to have these two playing deep halves. You've got underneath, but you're kind of make sure that they can't throw that corner route under you with your technique. And then here's your Mike linebacker, Mahmoud Diabate. He actually has the deep middle if there's a seam route, which is going to come from right here. So kind of watch it all unfold. We'll watch this one top down. So you've got underneath, underneath corners, two deep safety, and here he's running with this seam, and also you got eyes on the seam there. Perfect coverage, right?
Perfect coverage. The corners, they do a great job of getting the receivers. The first thing you want to do on cover two is jam the receivers inside. So you making sure you try to compress them as much as you can. And if they run the 7 route, you press in and you're playing high to low. You hit both of them are releasing inside. So there's no receivers. So that's helping out your safeties. So they know if they're the go routes, they're not having to get to the sideline as fast because they know they have inside releasing wide receivers.
Triangulation on Jamar Chase there. You've got Higgins here, but Denzel underneath it with eyes on the quarterback. You've got these two working right here, and then JOK and the other linebacker right there ready to come in, or is Greg Newsome, JOK and Greg Newsome ready to come in and make the tackle, and so is MJ if he needs to with his eyes on the quarterback. And at this point, you can already see from this angle, Za'Darius, that's going to be a sack, and the Browns get off the field on third down as they did on each of the first 8 third downs for the Cincinnati Bengals. You mentioned turnovers. Last year in Baltimore, and the Browns come from behind win, it was spurned by a pick 6 by Greg Newsome. Amazingly, Joe, through 7 games, this elite secondary of the Browns doesn't have a single interception. The lone interception for this defense this year from Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. How do you get the ball? We've got a lot of PBUs. MJ's got a bunch. Denzel's leading the league with a dozen, but we're not taking the football away. How do you turn those PBUs into picks?
I would say it's a little tough sometimes in the man-to-man coverages because they're out there on the island. You have to make sure you play the man. You saw Denzel was able to, you got to get it in phase. So that's sometimes a little tougher. I would say when we have those third and longs, when we get in those positions, when we're playing those zone coverages, where we're playing those cover twos, where you're looking at the quarterback, where you can read and react and see where he's going, being able to know what routes are coming and being able to jump those plays, being able to take chances on those opportunities where you know, all right, it's third and long, I have a safety over top of me, I can sneak underneath this slant, I can jump this out route, you know what I'm saying, knowing that you have a safety over top. So I think just taking advantages of opportunities like those, continuing to play man, because you don't want to just start searching for something that's not there, but when you're playing in those zone coverages, being able to take advantage of those opportunities.
Well, hopefully the Browns can do just that. On behalf of Joe Haden, I'm Nathan Zegura, thanking you for joining us for another edition of X's and Joe's presented by Microsoft Surface.